Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, so we're gonna get straight into the video. Back when this story takes place, um, it was kind of sort of after me and Rebel broke up. Cause we broke up off and on for years at this point. But this was shortly after I gave birth to our daughter. So about a week after I gave birth to our daughter, he ended up breaking up with me. And anytime before that happened, like I would chase him, I would do this, I would do that. But at that point, I was pretty much just over it, like over the back and forth, over his abuse, like over a lot of things, honestly. So I was just like, all right, that's cool. So, well, I didn't say, all right, that's cool, but like, I was just like, okay. And then, like, I just went on about my life, basically. So, this story takes place like a few months after that. So, he wasn't my first boyfriend, but he was my first like serious boyfriend, serious relationship. Like anyone else before him, like we would kind of date here and there, but it wasn't really serious, if that made sense. So now with me, at this time being newly single, I kind of wanted to get back into the dating scene because I had kind of dibbled and dabbled, messed around here and there, but I wanted to get back into the dating scene. I wanted to get into a relationship again, stuff like that. So one day I'm on this dating site, and you guys will come to find out that a lot of these stories start off with me being on dating sites. Like, I don't know, I guess that was just my thing back then. So I'm on a dating site and I'm scrolling through and I come across this profile. And we're gonna call this guy, because like I was trying to think of names before I recorded this. I couldn't think of anything. But no, we're gonna call him Ty. We're just gonna call him Ty. So yeah, so the name on his profile read Ty, and it said like his age and where he went to school and things like that, right? So I'm scrolling through his pictures and I'm like, okay, he's cute, right? So I swipe right. So eventually he swipes right back. He slides into my DM and then we get to talking. We eventually go to exchanging numbers. And everything is cool for the most part. Like, he's a very cool guy. Like, nothing really stood out to me as far as, red flags go or anything like that at that moment. So, time goes on and we're still texting each other. He never brought up us linking up or anything like that, and I didn't bring it up either. But I did know that the college that he went to was I want to say anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes from where I lived, and that he was not from the area and that he just went to school there. So now it's creeping up on my 21st birthday. And I decided that for my birthday, I wanted to get a hotel room and then I wanted to have like a birthday dinner with all my friends. So that's exactly what I decided to do. And of course, even though me and Rebel, even though we weren't like actually together in a relationship, we were still kind of messing around here and there. It was very much iffy with us, basically. Like, it's like we were messing with each other, but like we were also messing with other people, being that we were not like in a solidified relationship. So, of course, I knew that, like if I was going to get a hotel room, I knew that nine times out of 10, Rebel was going to be like staying there with me. It was kind of like an unspoken thing, so he didn't have to say that he was going to stay there, and neither did I, but I knew that he was going to stay there anyway, like type of thing. So, so I ended up getting the hotel room on a Saturday, right? So I ended up getting the hotel room on a Saturday. That night I was gonna have dinner with my friends, and then I was going to check out that Sunday morning. So the Saturday that I checked in, shortly after I checked in, I had went down to like the pool area because the hotel that I had got, like it had like a pool, like an indoor pool, as well as like a jacuzzi and things like that. So I invited my friends over, and I was like, hey, how about we go to the pool, have us a little, like, pool day a few hours before, my dinner. So they agreed, right? Now, mind you, for this specific dinner, because it was my 21st birthday, I also had like, so how do I explain it? So not only did I have friends like where I lived, but I also had friends that lived in like different cities, like the same state but different cities, and they were going to be traveling down to come to my birthday dinner. So as far as like the whole pool day go, I just wanted like, I don't want to say my close friends or like my like, because they're all my close friends, but just the close friends that I would see every day because we all lived in the same city. Like those friends. Like I had invited those to like the pool party. Well, not really pool party, but kind of just like a pool day where we were just going to be like chilling, hanging around the pool, listening to music and stuff like that. So so I decided to, of course, put on a bathing suit, and I had on a one piece that was kind of like a floral. It was like a pink floral print, so cute. And then my daughter, I dressed her in like a little pink bathing suit, and then of course my friends they had on like their bathing suits and stuff like that. So we get down to the pool, and it's all good vibes, really. It's all good vibes. And then I get a message. No, sorry. I get a text message from, what did I call him? Oh my God, I forgot his name already. Ty. So I get a text message from Ty, and he was just like, hey, I'm thinking about coming down there, like, to go to the movies. Do you want to come? And I text him back, and I'm like, oh, I would like to come, but I just invited my friends over. And then I start telling him, that it's my birthday weekend, and that I'm having a birthday dinner later on that night, and that I had invited my friends to come hang out with me at the pool. So it wouldn't be right for me to pretty much cancel those plans just to go to the movies with him. And of course he understood. He was like, all right, well, I'll just get up with you next time. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm chilling, hanging out with my friends and stuff like that. And then I get another message from him. And he asks, what hotel were we at? So I sent him the address, and he was like, oh, okay, like that's right down the street from the movie theater. So before I go to the movies, I'm going to stop by and like come kick it with you for a bit. So I'm like, all right, cool, right? Now, mind you, this is technically gonna be our first like meeting, right? Now, up until this point, me and Ty, we've sent pictures back and forth, we've talked over the phone, we've texted each other, stuff like that, but like we've never like actually seen each other in person. Oh, because I said that I couldn't go to the movies with him. Like, of course, it didn't occur to me like, oh well, is he gonna go to the movies by himself, or like is he gonna like try to ask somebody else? Like, I don't know. I guess it just didn't register to me like that. Like, it didn't really cross my mind like that. So of course, I'm telling my friends like, oh, Ty said he's gonna come by, he's gonna kick it and stuff like that. So then my best friend, she starts asking about Rebel. She's like, oh well, is Rebel here? Because mind you, like they didn't go up to the hotel room. Like they just came straight inside of the hotel, and then like we all walked to the pool area together. So I'm telling her, and I'm like, no, he's not here. He's at work. I get where she was coming from, because I guess that if Rebel was there, it would obviously be a problem if Ty decided to, pull up and chill, even though me and Rebel like weren't together. So then that's when my best friend starts asking, like, oh, is Rebel staying here with you? Like, are y'all getting back together? And I'm telling her, like, no, like he's staying here, yeah, but like we're not getting back together. Like, I kind of like Ty. I like where this is going. I like his energy, things like that. So she was like, okay, well, I guess we'll see when he gets here. So a few minutes go by, and Ty texts me to let me know that he's outside of the hotel. So I pretty much tell him where to go, like, as far as how to get to the pool area, right? When you walk in through the hotel doors, make a left or something like that. And then you're gonna see a sign that says like pool room, right? So I got up and I met him at the door, right? So because my daughter is so little, obviously she's not playing in the water by herself. So at first I was holding her, but then when I told my best friend that Ty was there, she was like, all right, well, I'll hold your daughter for you, and we can keep her over here and we'll play with her so that you can like spend some time with Ty. Because I think I expressed in the previous video that I had done that my best friend, she was not a fan of Rebel. She did not like him. So anytime that I decided to move on to someone else, or anytime I mentioned that I was talking to someone else, like, she was all for it. She was all for it, very much supportive, until they were to do something or say something that would be like, all right, yeah, no, this one is a dud, like, type of thing. She was cool with anybody that was not Rebel. Like, basically. So I get up, I go towards the door, and I open the pool door, and then Ty walks in, and we hug, and right off the bat, he smelled so good. Like, he smelled so good. Like, he just looked very clean, very much fresh cut. Like, I was like, oh my god, this boy is so fine. Like, he looked exactly how he looked in the pictures that he sent me. Like, he was not a catfish, none of that, right? So we walk over to like one of the tables and we sit down, we start talking, and he's pretty much asking about like my birthday dinner, basically where y'all gonna go, what kind of food are y'all gonna get, like what are you gonna do afterwards and stuff like that. So of course I told him, that I have a daughter, so he knows that I have a daughter, but he never really asked like the dynamic between me and my baby dad. Like, he never really asked about it, and I never really like went into detail. I pretty much just told him the gist, that we were off and on for years, had a child, broke up, and that's where we are with it now, type of thing. And he never really asked me to go into anything deeper than that, which is perfectly fine. So as we're talking, he gets a phone call and he answers the phone, and of course I can only hear his end of the conversation. So he's on the phone. He's like, yeah, yeah, no, I'll be there in a minute. Yeah, no, like, I'm like right around the corner. I'm like 5 minutes away. Oh, I'm just sitting here talking to my cousin real quick. But yeah, I'm almost done. Like, I promise you, I'll be there in like 5 minutes. I promise you, 5 minutes. All right, bet. And he hangs up the phone. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, cousin, did this nigga just call me his cousin? Obviously, he was on the phone with the girl, but did he just call me his cousin? Wow. I cannot believe that. Like, because at that point, it pretty much already, like, I put two and four and five. Like, I didn't put everything together now, right? Because obviously, what I had concluded is that when he asked me to go to the movies with him, and I said that I couldn't because I already had plans, that he obviously went and asked someone else to go with him, and now he's meeting another girl at the movies. And then he lied to her and told her that I was his cousin. That's what I concluded. Obviously, this is a major red flag. And not the fact that he decided to take another girl to the movies, because, mind you, like, this is not my boyfriend. We're not talking. We're not doing any of that. Like, I'm single. He's single. He can do whatever it is that he wants to do. You feel me? Like, he could have taken 5 girls to the movies if he wanted to. Like, you get what I'm saying? But my thing is, like, why would you lie to the girl and say that you're talking to your cousin? Because clearly I'm not your cousin, right? So before I could, because after he gets off the phone, like, he looks over at me and then he continues to go back to the conversation, and I don't even remember what we were talking about, especially not that one, because the only thing that could like register in my mind was, oh my god, he just called me. So after that, like, my daughter, she starts crying and fussing and stuff like that because she's hungry. So I'm like, hold on for a minute, and then I get up, I walk over to, like, because at this point my friends, they're no longer in the pool, they're in like the jacuzzi part. So I get up and I walk over to like my friends, and like my best friend, she's holding my daughter, and she was like, I think she's hungry. So I was like, all right, here, like, I'm gonna take her over there, with us at the table. So I pick her up and I'm walking back over towards Ty, right? So as I'm holding my daughter and I'm walking towards Ty, I'm looking at him, right? I'm looking at him. And instead of him looking at my face or, I don't know, looking anywhere else, as I'm walking towards him, his eyes are zoned into my private area. Like, this man has his eyes literally locked on my coochie. Like, what? And at that point, I was like, all right, red flag number two. Not only did you tell that girl on the phone that I'm your cousin, you're looking at my coochie for what? Because, well, obviously, never mind. But like, you feel like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's pretty clear that that's what he wants. You feel me? Because why would his eyes be locked into that area so hard? Like, what's the reason? So so I walk back over, and I sit down in the seat and stuff like that. And when he sees my daughter, he's like, "Oh, she's so pretty." He starts like playing with her and stuff like that. And I'm like making her a bottle. So we have like a little bit of more conversation. And then he was like that he had to go. Now, and even though at that point I knew that it's pretty clear that he's gonna meet a girl like at the movies, I wanted him to say it. Like, I wanted to see if he's gonna be like, "Oh, I got this girl I'm finna go meet at the movies," or whatever the case may be. But he didn't say any of that. He was just like, "Oh, well, my movie is playing at such and such a time." He was like, "Oh, my movie is playing at such and such a time, so like I gotta go, if I want to make it in time." So I'm like, "All right, cool." He was like, "Well, we can definitely link up another time. Like, let me know when you're free." And I'm like, "Okay, well, you let me know when you're free." We hug, and then he leaves, right? So after he leaves, I go back over to my friends and I'm giving them the rundown. So I'm telling them what had just happened, how he was just on the phone with the girl and told the girl that I was his cousin, how he's clearly meeting another girl at the movies, stuff like that, right? So of course my best friend, she's like, "Oh, like he's another one of them. Like, he seems like another rebel to me. Like, I don't think that you should talk to him. I think that you should cut him off." And I'm like, "Well, I don't want to cut him off. Like, even though he just did those two things that were obvious red flags, it's like I still liked him. I still wanted to get to know him. Maybe it was because I was like, maybe it was the physical attraction, if that makes sense. Like, because I don't know, like maybe it was just the physical attraction to me because I thought that he was very good looking, very easy on the eyes. Like, I don't know, and he smelled so good. So, oh, and should I say that now? You know what? I'm just gonna say it now because it came up like me and him were talking about it later. But like, I ended up asking him like what kind of cologne was he wearing, and he was telling me that he uses Burberry body wash and like the Burberry, like, basically he was saying he uses Burberry like products and stuff like that. And I'm like, "Oh, that's why it smells so good. Like, that should smell banging." But anyway, moving on. So as I'm talking to my friends, they're like, "Yeah, we don't," none of they didn't like it. Oh, I forgot to mention. I forgot to mention. So this is a very important part. So before he left, I asked him if he wanted to meet my friends. And he was like, "Yeah, I don't got a problem with that." So I'm like, "All right, cool." So I take him from the tables and now we're walking over towards the pool area where my friends are. Cause it's like they're in the pool. Well, they're in the jacuzzi, but like the jacuzzi is kind of like next to the pool. So when we go over there, I'm like, okay, so my friends are in the water. Obviously, me and him were like standing by the side. So I'm like, these are my friends. These are my friends, Tessa, blah blah. No, where's my like friend? This is my friend Tessa, friend, and other friend. Y'all. This is Ty. Now, when I said this is Ty and Ty, these are my friends, like, but obviously I said their names, like, his body tensed up. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but like, his body tensed up as if he instantly became uncomfortable or something like that. Like, I don't know. So I peeped it, but I didn't say anything, right? He kind of like bends down, shakes their hands, was like, "All right, nice to meet y'all," this, that, and the third, like all this stuff like that, right? So yeah, that was now. Like I said, I peeped it, But after that, I never mentioned it. Like, I never mentioned it to my friends. Like, after he left, and I started telling them, like, about our conversations and stuff like that. So, after that, like, I never mentioned to them, like, how he was being weird and, and, like, just the whole, weirdness of body language, I guess you could say. So, a few days go by, and by, mind you, like, I had my birthday dinner, all of that went well, stuff like that. So a few days go by, and so we're texting each other. Um, Nothing really like it's nothing really like too crazy. Like he's asking to like link up with me and stuff like that. And at this point, like I already knew why. Like I knew that he wanted to have sex and stuff like that. Like that was pretty much obvious, right? And I more so wanted a relationship. Like I just didn't like I didn't want to, what do they call it, like a situationship. I didn't want to be in a situationship. I didn't really want to be friends with benefits. So some time is going by, right? So maybe like a month or so goes by, we're still talking to each other here and there, right? So I'm at work one night, and yeah, I'm closing up the store, and he tells me that he's in the area. He wants to link up with me and this, that, and the third. So I'm telling him, like, oh, I'm at work right now. Like, I get off at such and such time, like, stuff like that. So he was like, oh, where do you work? So I tell him where I work at, and he was like, oh shit, like I'm gonna pull up there. So I'm like, all right, cool. So he comes to my job, like we're hugging each other, like, and at this time I was a manager, so I was in there by myself. So, like we're hugging, we're talking to each other and stuff like that, right? So he asked me what time do I get off, right? Why do I keep saying right? Like, so then he asked me what time do I get off. So I was like, oh, I get off at 9 o'clock. So he was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go walk around for a little bit and then I'm gonna come back. So I'm like, all right, cool. So he does exactly that. Now, when he comes back, I'm like closing down the store, right? So I'm counting the money down. Um, Same stuff that I usually do when I'm closing the store. So he comes over to the gate, and I open up the gate and he walks in, and then I close the gate back. I close it all the way down and I lock it, and then I go back over and like I finish counting down like the registers and stuff like that, right? So he starts asking about my job, as far as like just normal stuff, like, oh, like how often do you work here, like do you like it here, like stuff like that, just normal stuff basically. So as we're talking, he asked me like, oh, like he starts asking how I'm getting home basically, because he knew I didn't drive. And I told him, I was like, oh, my dad usually comes to pick me up. If anything, he should be pulling up outside very soon. And then most likely he's gonna like call me or text me when he's like outside, stuff like that, right? So once I say that, now Ty walks over to me and he starts to get kind of handsy, right? He starts to like touch on me and stuff like that. He's like, oh, is there anywhere that we can go? And I'm like, what do you mean, is there anywhere that we can go? And he was like, shit, like, you know what I'm trying to do. And I kind of giggle, laugh a little bit. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, nah, not in here. And he's like, what, is there any cameras in here? And I'm like, no, not that I know of. Like, I've been working here for a long time. Like, if there's any cameras, I'm pretty sure somebody would have said something about a camera at this point. And I was like, nah, like, there's no cameras in here. So, he kind of starts joking around and hinting at certain things, but honestly, I wasn't really paying him no mind. Like, I was just like, okay, he's just talking, because, like I said before, it was pretty clear from from the previous time that we hung out, what he wanted. So I go into like the back room to like get my stuff out of my locker, like my purse and stuff, because now I'm done counting the money, closing down the registers and stuff like that. And I had already clocked out as well. So I'm going to the back to like get my stuff out of my locker, and he comes back there with me. And he's like, is there any cameras back here? And I'm like, no. So he was like, all right, well, come on then. So I start laughing, giggling and stuff like that. So, child, I pull my pants down and I bend over in front of the filing cabinet, and yeah, so in freaking sanity. So after we get done, like we like obviously I put my pants back up and stuff like that. So he fixes himself, gets himself together. I get my stuff out of my locker, and then we walk back out into like the main part of the store. So I check my phone and I'm like, all right, well, my dad is outside, so I'm about to go. So he was like, all right, well, I walk out there with you. So I'm like, shit, all right, bet. So as we're leaving out, like I forget that the trash is like sitting by the door. So I asked him, I'm like, well, can you grab that trash for me? And he was like, shit, after that, I'll do anything you want me to do. So, of course, I'm laughing. I'm like, all right, this dude, like, like, this dude. So we walk out, I shut the gate, I lock it, he takes the trash, and now we're walking out of the store, basically. So after that, some time goes by, and now this is a consistent thing with me and Ty. Like, not at my job though. Like, we upgraded from my job, like from him coming to my job to now him coming to my house. So I was sneaking, because at the time I was still living with my mom. So I would sneak him in at night. We would go straight to my room, because at this point I had my own room. Like, I done told a story time before about how I was with, I can't even think of his name, but how I was with one of my other boyfriends, and how I had to how. Anyway, that's not the point. So, so yeah. So I'm like sneaking him in my room now. Now me and him are in a full fledged, I guess you could say, situationship, because it was not a solidified relationship. Like, he didn't ask me to be his girlfriend or none of that. So now we are, I guess you could say, exclusively dealing with each other, right? So we had a conversation shortly after the first time that we had slept together, where he was like that he didn't want me like sleeping with anybody else, and I told him that I didn't want him sleeping with anyone else either, right? So we agreed that we're only going to be sleeping with each other. So it's like he's constantly coming over. I'm sneaking him in. Now it's gotten to the point where he's holding my daughter. Like if he would come over at night and she would wake up in the middle of the night, like I would feed her, then he would burp her, and then I would put her back to sleep. Like stuff like that. Like now is we're doing teamwork type of things. Like, you feel me? Everything is going good. So so it starts to get to the point now where I'm telling him, I'm like, well, you always come to my house, but I've never been to your dorm. Like, you should invite me to your dorm sometimes. And he's telling me, like, oh, I know. Like, and I don't want to say this is an excuse. Maybe it was a reason. Like, I don't know. Maybe it was a reason instead of an excuse. But, like, he was telling me, like, oh, the reason why I don't ever invite you to my dorm is because, like, you don't drive. So how are you going to get up there? And I don't think that it would make sense for me to like spend gas coming all the way down here just to pick you up, take you all the way back to my dorm, just to bring you all the way back here. Like, it's easier just for me to come here and then for me to go back. And which I get it, that makes sense. But I feel like it was an excuse, right? I definitely feel like it was an excuse. But whatever, I'm not finna say too much about it. So moving on, right? So moving on, some time is going by, and yeah, we're doing this consistent thing, right? So one day I'm on social media, and should I say what it is? I'm just gonna say what it is. So one day I'm on Facebook, and I'm just scrolling through, and I come across a profile. And let's just say the profile said, I'm trying to think of a name that's not like his name. Um I can't think of one. Let's just say it was, it's so hard trying to think of a fake name. Like, oh my god, I cannot think of one. Robert, right? So let's just say the Facebook profile that I came across said Robert, I don't know, Robert Jackson, right? Let's just say it said Robert Jackson. And I'm looking at it, right? And it's Ty's picture. Like Ty's picture is the profile, but the name says Robert Jackson. So I'm like, this is weird. So I click on the page, right? So I click on it, and for the most part, his page was private, but there were some things that I could see. Like, for example, I could see like some pictures, like a few pictures, like a few not albums, but I could see like a few profile pictures, right? And it was pictures that, because like I said before, like when we first started like talking to each other, we would constantly send pictures back and forth. So it was pictures that he had sent me. Matter of fact, his profile picture was a recent picture that he has sent me. So obviously he's very much active on this Facebook, right? And then I'm scrolling through his timeline newsfeed, right? I'm scrolling through, and like I said, for the most part, his page was private, so there's not a lot that I could see, but there's some things that I could see. And what I could see for sure was it was like happy birthday posts, like, because you know when it's someone's birthday and then like their friends could like write on their walls and stuff like that, right? So it was his birthday, and excuse me, and family and friends were writing things on his wall like happy birthday. Let's say that the profile was Robert Jackson, they were like happy birthday Robert, or happy birthday R, like it's your G Day fam, like stuff like that, right? I'm like, what? Robert? Who is Robert? So now I'm going through the comments, right? I'm going through the comments, and he's responding back to these people. Like, let's say there's a post that said, happy birthday, Robert, like many more to come, stuff like that, right? He's commenting back and like talking about some thank you, bro, or good luck. So his real name is Robert? If his real name is Robert, why would he lie and say that his name is Ty? So on dating profiles, it's not uncommon for people to use a fake name or like a nickname. Like that's not uncommon. However, However, me and Ty, we had multiple conversations where we were talking about our names and like what they mean and stuff like that. And he was telling me like, oh, his name means to be strong or means strength of a lion. His real name is not Ty or Robert, but his real name, there was like it means something, like there was like a meaning behind it. So he's telling me like what his name means, and I'm telling him like, oh, I really don't know what my name means, but like, and I'm telling him how I got my name, basically, like where my name comes from and stuff like that. And there were times when we would have conversations through text messages, and I would call him Ty, and he would respond to it. So if that was just a nickname or a fake name that he was using on that dating site, but that wasn't his real name, why didn't he say that? Like, he never said like, oh, that was just a name I was using on the website, my real name is Robert. Like, you feel me? So I just felt like that was very weird. I'm like, yo, not this nigga is lying about his name. Like, who does that? So as I'm scrolling through his page for, just the little stuff that I could see, that was the only thing that really like stood out to me for real. So now in my mind, I'm like, all right, the next time I talk to him and like we're texting each other, I'm gonna call him Robert to see what he says, because obviously he doesn't know that I know his name is Robert. Like, what the fuck? So some time goes by, and now this one day we're texting each other. We're texting back and forth. I would send a message, he would send a message. And like no time would pass between, right? Like we're sending messages back to back. So I'm like, all right, perfect time. So I call him Robert, right? Now let's say, I don't know, I was like, I don't know. Let's say that I was just saying something like, I don't know, like something like that, but like in a joking type of way, because that's how we would, joke with each other. Now, let's say I said that, and now he wants to take 1,200 years to text back, right? Now, when we were just texting before I said the name Robert, he was texting back to back. And now I called him by his name, and now he's taking like 12 years to text back, right? So he texts back, but he don't really like, he doesn't respond to the name. Let's say, for example, I said, dang, Robert, you get on my fucking nerves. Then he would text back and say, like, girl, you get on my nerves too. Like, stuff like that, right? He didn't really acknowledge the fact that I said Robert. Now I want to get into it. Like, I want to know why you lied about your name. So I asked him that. I'm like, why did you tell me that your name is Ty when your name is actually Robert? And he was like, I never lied to you. Like, Ty is my nickname. My name is Robert Ty Jackson. So I'm like, that's not what you said. And then I brought up the conversations we've had about our names. Like, oh, I've called you Ty before. Like, if that's not your name, why didn't you say, like, oh, my name is Robert and not Ty? Like, like when you were telling me, like, oh, my name means strength of a lion. Why didn't you say, oh, Robert means strength of a lion, not Ty? Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's just not making sense to me. It's not making sense. And then it started to click to me, like, okay, that day when the first time we hung out with each other and I introduced him to my friends and I called him Ty, how his body kind of stiffened up a bit and he was obviously uncomfortable. It was because he knew his real name is not Ty, his real name is Robert. And maybe he didn't want to say nothing then because he didn't want to like embarrass me, which is understandable. But he could have said something at some point. But I feel like, honestly, I feel like maybe he did not mean to lie. Like, once he realized that I was calling him Ty and not Robert, he was just like, all right, well, fuck it. Like, I'm just finna go with it, right? I feel like that's how it was, and not just that he was just, lying on purpose. So now that I know that his name is Robert, I'm gonna call this nigga Robert. Like, I'm finna call this nigga Robert. Like, you're no longer tied to me. So, and not even Bobby, but Robert. So, so some time is going on, and even though there's obvious red flags, I'm still liking him, right? Like, I don't know. I still like this dude. So but I am still kind of feeling some type of way that he has not invited me to his dorm. And when I mentioned it before, and he was like, oh, there's no way for you to get up there, and I don't have to spend gas, coming down here to pick you up and take you there and then bring you back and then drive back myself. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, and I get it. So after that, I kind of sort of just decided to let it go. Um, So one day I'm getting my hair done and I'm just getting a regular sew in with leave out, getting my eyebrows done, stuff like that, right? And she had been my hairstylist ever since I was in like maybe sixth grade in middle school. So I had texted her and I was asking her like when does she have an opening so I can come get my hair done. And she told me I have an opening Saturday at like 12 o'clock or something like that, right? So I'd be like, all right, cool, I'll be there. But then she told me, it was like, I don't live at the same place that I lived. The last time you came to see me, I moved. I'm like, okay, well, where did you move to? So she gives me her address. I look up her address, and coincidentally, it's right down the street from Roberts College, right? So I'm like, huh. Okay, bet. Like, I'll be there. So then I text Robert, and it's a Saturday, so I know he don't got class. So I text Robert, and I'm like, oh, I'm getting my hair done Saturday at 12 o'clock. And the girl that's doing my hair, she lives right down the street from your college. So now, like, cause now he don't got no excuse. Now he don't got no excuse to not let me come to his dorm, like, at all. So he texted me back, was like, all right, bet, like, hit me up, like, just hit me up when you're done getting your hair done. So I'm like, all right, cool. So now where I'm from, like, there isn't any type of city buses or anything like that. Like, you can get on a transit, but the transit will only take you to certain places. So it would take you to the mall, it would take you to Walmart, and then it would take you to the campus, like the college campus, and then it would come back. And that's the only places it would go. So I got off at the college campus and I just walked to her house. So after I'm done getting my hair done, I took a picture, I sent it to him. He, of course, he's like, oh, you look good as fuck, this, that, the third, right? So I'm like, yeah, well, I'm done getting my hair done now. So, like, what's up? Like, are you trying to link or what? Do you know? Do you know? He never texted me back. He never texted me back. He definitely left me undelivered. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Like, this dude really don't want me to come to his dorm. Excuse me. And before, like I said, like I could understand exactly what he was saying about how like it was just too much, this, that, and the third. But now I'm here. I'm here now. So what's really the excuse? Because it's not like you gotta drive there, pick me up, bring me back here. Like you don't gotta do that no more. But he left me undelivered. I'm like, wow, like that's crazy. So I went ahead, got on the transit, went back home, right? So a few hours later, he texted me back, like, oh, my phone died, this, that, and the third, right? Right. So, me being dumb and naive, I decided to forgive him. And if I should have cut him, like, even if I should have cut him off with those other red flags that he had already shown me up until this point, I definitely should have cut him off then because it's pretty clear that he's playing in my face. But me being young and dumb, I decided to forgive him, let it be water under the bridge. So some time is going on. And he's still coming over, but not as much, right? Like now it's getting to the point where if I'm asking him to like come over, it's either he can't because he got something to do, or he just don't text me back. Like it's always something with him. Like it started to be every single excuse in the book. So one day I get off work, right? And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but so when I worked in the mall, my best friend, she's also a hairstylist and she worked at one of these salons in the mall. So, because she would drive and I didn't drive, most of the time, I like if we got off work at closing, at the same time, then I would just walk down to her job and like she would take me home. So that's what I did like this particular day. Like I just walked down to her job and I'm like, wait for her to finish counting down the registers and stuff like that, so that we can leave. And I'm telling her about Ty or Robert, like I'm telling her. And, of course, I told her about the whole name situation. And she's like, like, you feel me? And then I told her about how he doesn't want me to come to his dorm for some type of reason. And then how I had basically went to get my hair done and I was there like down the street from his school and he was like acting like his phone died, like that type of thing. So I'm pretty much telling her everything. And she's like, see, I told you, like, he obviously got another girl that he's talking to, another girl that he's dealing with, like, shit, for all we know, he probably got a girlfriend. And now I'm starting to believe her. I'm like, yeah, he probably do. So then I text him and I ask him, like, not if he had a girlfriend, but I asked him if he was, like, still only having sex with me or if he's, like, having sex with other girls as well, that sort of thing. So he texted me back and he was like that, he's not messing with nobody but me. Like he don't got no other girls that he's having sex with. But I guess one of his exes or a girl that he used to mess with, like she had texted him, but like he was pretty much saying that he didn't want to have nothing to do with her, like that type of thing. And then to plead his case, he decides to send me a screenshot of their messages. But the screenshot didn't make sense. Like, you could tell that there were some things that were missing, right? So, like, let's say she said something like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to treat you like that. I didn't mean to do that to you. And then he texted back and was like, yeah, but you really fucked up. Like, I don't fuck with you for that. And then she texted back and was like, all right, well, I'm sorry. Like, let me make it up to you. Let me suck your D. You feel me? And with emojis, obviously. And then It goes from that, like, it goes from, all right, well, I'm sorry, let me make it up to you, let me suck your D. It goes from that, and then it jumps down to a completely different conversation, right? And as if he said something back to that and then deleted it before he sent me the screenshot. Like, it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense, and it was obvious that a message or messages were deleted. And it's obvious that he's messing with this girl. Which, honestly, to be 100% honest, I don't like, I didn't really feel no type of way that he was messing with this girl, but just be honest about it. Like, why do you have to lie? So after that, I turned into a completely different person because now I'm hurt and now I feel some type of way because it's pretty clear that you take me for a fool. You take me for a fool and you're lying. So, and am I surprised? No, because he lied to another girl when we first hung out. He was lying to that girl, telling her that was his cousin. So, should I really feel some type of way about him lying to me? Maybe. Should I really be surprised by it? No. Like, this dude is a liar. This is what he does, right? So, I decide to play the game. Now I'm playing the game because, like, at first you were getting the sweet version of me. I was very sweet, I was very kind. A lot of things that he was doing to me, I was brushing it under the rug, not really taking it for what it was, not really taking it for anything deep, right? But now it's like, okay, now you woke up the beast, and now I got to show you that I'm not the one to play with. So I started doing him exactly how he was doing me. Exactly how. Like, whenever he would hit me up and ask to come see me, like, sometimes I would respond, sometimes I wouldn't. Sometimes I would leave him on scene. Um or sometimes, like, let's say I was talking to somebody, we're not really talking to somebody, like, let's say he messaged me and wanted to come see me, and I told him, yeah, you can come see me at this time. But if somebody else hit me up and they wanted to come see me as well, I would tell him, like, oh, I can't see you tonight, like, something came up, like, I'm gonna have to see you another time. It went from us seeing each other every couple days to now only seeing each other here and there. I'm not texting him back like that. Like, I'm pretty much doing my own thing. Like, I'm talking to other dudes. Like, I'm messing with other dudes, obviously. Like, I'm doing the same thing he doing. Like, two can play this game, right? So he obviously starts to catch on, and he doesn't like that shit. Like, he doesn't like it. So one day he hits me up, right? Now, mind you, after the first few times of me doing that, of me kind of what we used to call it, like, bluffing. After me, like, bluffing him the first couple of times, and, like, me kind of, like, switching plans around, like, oh, I gotta do something, like, I can't chill with you today, like, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Like, after the first couple of times of me doing that, and then him catching on to what was really going on, he just stops talking to me. And I don't chase him, I don't blow his phone up, I don't do none of that. I leave him alone and I go on about my business, right? So now a few months have gone by and I have not heard anything from him. And that was perfectly fine with me. Like, I didn't care anymore at that point. So one day he hits me up and he wants to link up to, like, talk and have a conversation. So I'm like, all right, sure, why not? So I invite him over to my mom's house, and usually he would come over at night and I would sneak him in, right? But now it's during the daytime. It's during the daytime, and we're just chilling in the living room, and he starts to talk, like, and don't get me wrong, like, he looks as good as he always did. Like, he looked so good, smelled even better. But I'm like, all right, I gotta keep it together. Like, I gotta keep it together because obviously he's probably gonna try to get over on me again, and that's not gonna happen no more, right? But of course, I'm my usual self. It's all love. It's never no beef. Like, it's never that. So I'm, like, hugging him, like, being like, oh, I missed you, this, that, and the third. So he's sitting down and then he's talking, and he's like, yeah, I don't like how you was starting to act, and I didn't like how you was starting to treat me. Like, you putting other niggas before me, like, every time I try to come over and see you, like, and then you don't never text me back. Well, isn't that what you was doing to me, though? Like, I would text you, you wouldn't text me back. Like, I would want to see you and then you putting other girls before me. Like, isn't it the same thing you was doing? And then he starts saying, "Oh, well, I wasn't messing with nobody else. You know how I was messing with you, like da da da." Sat in the third, and of course, I'm not believing that because now because I got it in my mind that this dude is a pathological liar, and he's gonna tell me whatever it is he feels like I want to hear in order to give him the goods, right? He's gonna say whatever it is. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, like it is what it is. Like, I'm not really tripping on it no more. Like, that shit was so long ago. It is what it is. So, and I guess I felt like that because now that I actually woke up, I like I'm never gonna let him play with me like that again. Like, that's over with. So even if we were to kind of ease back into whatever we were before, it would not be the same. It would not be the same. So maybe that's why I was like, all right, well, like it's pretty much water under the bridge. Like, I'm not tripping on that shit no more. So as we're talking, he starts telling me like, yeah, I think that we should start going out on dates. Like, I think I want to make you my girlfriend. Like, this, that, and the third. Like, he's just talking. And not to say that like he's just talking to be talking, but like I'm not really thinking too much of it. I'm like, all right, yeah, this, that, and the third, right? And the reason why I don't know, like I said, it just wasn't gonna be like that no more for me. Like, to me, I feel like he had his chance, right? I feel like I gave him a very fair chance. Like, I looked past a lot of red flags for him, but in the second he started treating me differently and started playing in my face, like, yeah, that was it. It was over with. So, boom. As we're talking, I'm looking out because like we were sitting in the living room, but like my mom, she had like a patio door that kind of like pushed open. So, as we're talking, I'm looking out the patio door, and guess who I see pull up? I see Rebel pull up. And I'm like, because me and Rebel were still messing around. You feel me? So I'm like, oh my God, Robert is here. Rebel is outside. What am I about to do? Oh. I tell Robert, I'm like, oh well, my baby dad's outside, and if he come in here and see you in here, like he finna trip. So could you just like, like he finna come through the side door. So could you just like go out and like, like walk out through like the back door? Like, just walk out through the back door and then go out to the front door. Like, he don't know you, he don't know who you are, so he not finna like say nothing. But like, just for the sake of me, like, and like, and I and I'm talking like super fast because I want him to hurry up and get out. You feel me? So I automatically knew he felt some type of way. He immediately felt some type of way. But did I care? No, because I gave you a fair chance. I gave you a fair chance months ago, and now I'm really finna do you dirty. Like, yeah, sorry, not sorry. You should have been trying to play in my face how you was, but whatever. So yeah, so he does that. He gets up and he walks out of the front door. But like I said, obviously he feels some type of way about it. It's pretty clear. Do I care? No. Anyway, so Rebel comes in. Now, mind you, I don't know if Rebel saw him. I don't know if Rebel saw him because if he did see him, he didn't say anything. So I lived in like an apartment building, basically. So when Rebel came in through the side door, it was the exact same time that Robert was walking out through the back door. Even though when Robert walked out, he just looked straight forward. He looked straight forward and kept walking. But Rebel, he kind of turned and looked at him and then just turned back around and then walked back in the house. So if he saw him when he was in the house, he didn't say anything. So boom. So that was pretty much it. Me and Robert, we saw each other one time after that. Like sometime later we saw each other. Um yeah. Yeah, so some time later we saw each other, and if I remember correctly, he picked me up from my house. So he picked me up from my house, and then we were kind of like driving around, trying to find a spot to go to. And I I don't know how to explain it, but like So we ended up going to like a park, but like I wasn't really tripping because not that this matters or anything like that, but Robert, he drove like some sort of Porsche. He drove like a Porsche truck or something like that. And so, and the windows were like tinted. So it was like a Porsche SUV type. Child, I don't know. Anyway, when we got to like the park and stuff like that, we got in like the back seat, the windows were tinted, everything was cool, you feel me, everything was cool. But like he was telling me that like he was graduating, most likely we would not see each other again. So I was like, oh, okay, like that's fine, one more for the road until you leave, and go back to your hometown. And I never really saw him again after that. I saw him on like social media like a few years ago, like maybe because I just recently made a new Facebook. But back when I had my old Facebook, I ended up finding him, sending him a friend request, and like sliding in his inbox and stuff like that. So yeah, we had like a little brief conversation and stuff like that. So yeah, as far as I know, he's doing good in life as he should. So yeah, that is that. Thank you for staying to the end of this story time. Thank you for clicking on this video. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And bye.